Today I'm going to talk about how to automate boring stuff data science way. Okay, so first I want to thank Women Developer Academy. It is a program that is held by Google in order to teach us how to do public speaking well, and also for the opportunity to share the stage with a fellow Women Developer Academy graduate here, Alexander Koo. Currently, I'm working as a data analyst at Traveloka, and in my free time, I also contribute to Generation Girl and Data Science Indonesia. In the past, I used to be a data scientist at OVO and Taralight. Both of them are digital wallet services, and I work mostly on the lending products. I also graduated from physics, particularly from Bandung Institute of Technology. It is a university in my beloved town, Bandung. Okay, today we're going to talk about why Slack is my favorite chat app, and then I'm going to introduce Slack Hive. After that, we will explore the data that is gotten from Slack Hive. Why is Slack my favorite chat app? First, because it's very interactive. I love how you can use emojis there, and then you can quote people, and then you can just reply people's chats very easily. And then second is it's because it's very friendly to programmers. You can easily share code blocks and snippets, and then it also has like a very colorful feature with it, which is very nice. And its friendly nature for programmers means that it's very easy to integrate Slack with third-party apps. So for example, you have like a deadline that is coming up, and then you want to mention someone about the deadline, then you can just hook it up to the Confluence or Google Calendar in order to remind that person about the task. And also, it's very easy for you to create a custom app. So for example, you have a certain app that is not available through Slack's third-party app, then you can just create your own custom app in order to accommodate to that need. And the last but not least is my guilty pleasure. You can create as much channels as you want. So why did I highlight this? Because as you can see here in my workspace, okay, so a little intro. So currently I'm working at Traveloka, but if there's any security guy here, don't freak out because I created this material before I joined when I was still in OVO. So currently, rest assured, I don't have access to the workspace anymore. So this is just for the presentation purpose. So back to the topic. So you can see here, my channels are mostly started with this logo, which is the logo. I have way more channels with this logo compared to the channels with the hashtag logo. And why is that? It's because I tend to use like as my personal work diary. So I use it for any single code that I do, and then like I also use it for every single insight that I have, or like any ideas for the work that I want. So it's becoming more and more about my knowledge base, and I use like to store all of them. But what happens when you lose access to the workspace? Should you copy and paste every single thing in the channel, in all channels, which will take forever? Or is there a better alternative? So what's the solution for this? I use Slack's API. So if you can see here, among the many utilities for Slack, it has incoming webhooks, and then you can use / command to perform a certain command. And then among all the others, I use bots for it. And Slack gives you two kinds of tokens. The first is the bot token, and the second is the user token. Both of them actually have the similar features, but in this project, I use the user token because it gives me the functionality that I need. Okay, so the problem is solved. I can use Slackbot in order to retrieve all of my diaries, but another problem rises where I have to manually run the script every time. So for example, I want to store it like weekly or monthly, then can I do it not manually, but can I automate that instead? So another solution for this problem is that I can use BigQuery. Okay, now after we talk about all the problems and how to solve them, let's take a look at how we are going to implement the solution. So my plan is I'm going to use cronjob, and then I'm going to automate it every 1 a.m. So you can see here that we are going to start the cronjob at 1 a.m. And then after that, Python has to validate the user token to Slack. After the Python validates the user token, then Python is going to send a notification to Slack saying that, hey, I already got you. I recognize that this is you. So I'm going to, so go ahead and do whatever you need. And then after Python sends a notification to the Slack, which is me, the script will get all the chats that I need from the specified channel. And then after the chats are got from the channel, the chats are stored by Python in the form of pandas data frame. After the chats are stored, then the pandas data frame are going to be uploaded into BigQuery. After the data frame is successfully uploaded into BigQuery, Python is going to send notification to Slack saying that, hey, your job is successful. Now what's next? And then after that, it's going to go back here at 1 a.m. Now that we already know the flow, let's arrange, Now that we already know the flow, what kind of tools we can use in order to implement the flow? So as you can see here, we have Python, and then we have Slack API, and then also Google's BigQuery, and the cron tab. If we arrange them this way, then it has the form that you can see here. So let's start from the cron tab. So at 1 a.m., cron tab is going to start the job. And then as usual, Python is going to send the token validation to Slack. After Slack is able to recognize that this is me, that is trying to start the job, then Slack is going to send the data that I need from a specified channel to the Python, right? And then after Python receives the channel data, then it will have two parallel process here. So it's going to upload the backup data into Google BigQuery, and then after that, it's going to trigger the Slack app. In this case, it's my Slack bot to send a notification. After the Slack app gets the permission and the trigger from Python to send notification to me, signifying whether or not the job is successful, then Slack app is going to send another Slack notification to me, saying whether or not it's successful. And then after that, the job ends, and then it's going to start again at 1 a.m. So now let's take a look at how this folds out in a live demo. So here I have my cron tab, right? And then here I'm just going to edit my cron tab. I'm going to remove this command. So yeah, because this is for demo purposes, I just made it for 1 minute. Okay. Now it's like this. So it should be running. Okay. So because this is a bit long, so if this job is successful, it's supposed to give you the indication that the backup is being started. And then after that, what we want to see is that we want it to be successful. So it's going to look like this. So now, because in my place it's 7:11, so we expect to see something that is of this date, which is 25th August 2020, but the time is around 1913 or 1914. Okay, let's wait for it. And okay, yeah, it actually finished faster than I thought. So as you can see here, at around 7, the backup started, and then after the backup is being uploaded to BigQuery, we can see the table here. After the table is uploaded here, Python sends another notification to me saying that the backup to BigQuery is successful. So here we can see that the data here, we can see that there is what type it is, and then the text, and then who is the user that sent it to me. In this case, it's myself because I took it from my own private channel. And then there is also the reply count in this case. It means that there's no reply there. Yeah. That's the demo. Okay, since the job actually finished faster than I thought, so I was actually going to use this to fill the time if it takes longer than I thought, but here we go. So if you don't have a workspace, then feel free to always create your own workspace because they have a plan that is free. And you can just go ahead to this link and just explore how you can create your own workspace and the privileges that are attached to it. And then if you have friends or if you are interested in having the opportunity to share about your experience and grow the community, feel free to join the Women Developer Academy. They are going to open their next batch in October. So you get about, everyone gets about for free, of course. Now let's take a look at the data. So from the data that I got, if we correlate my most productive hours, if we correlate my productivity with the number of chats that I have with other people, then we can say that the more chats I have, then the more productive I am. Even though, like, maybe in reality it's not always the case. But if we take that assumption, that it means that during 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., because I have the most chats here, it means that I'm most productive during those hours. And then how about my most productive days? Here you can see that because I have the most chats on Monday till Friday, so technically I'm more productive from Monday to Friday. How about my months? So apparently I'm most productive during November, even though, actually during November I had an upcoming project that I have to write a lot of codes during that month. So that's why this one particularly stand out. How about my most used words? Because apparently I use Slack for storing a lot of my SQL queries. So Slack becomes the most used word for me. Okay, after this, what's next? So if I have more time after this, I'm going to improve it using particularly this. So I want to be able to use / comments in order to execute certain comment. And then after that, I want to use Google Cloud Functions. So it's more automatic. And then for extracting the words that are most used or most important, I'm going to use this. Okay, the caveat here is that don't worry, because the channel that I use here only belong to my private channels, and the data here is used only for my education purposes. And the takeaway that hopefully you can get after my session is that data science is not always about modeling. It's about how you can solve problems very effectively using what's in front of you. And then boring repetitive tasks can almost always be automated. And also, if you don't have data, then you can always generate your own data and then play around with it. And also, in order to create a good project, you don't always have to spend any money of it. There's a lot of free resources that you can play with. That's my session. Please feel free to give me any questions.
One of the questions is, what's the reason for storing chat data in the data frame and inserting it into BigQuery?
Okay, for this project, I'm using Python's library. It's called Pandas GBQ. You can go ahead and Google it. And Pandas GBQ works both ways. So it allows you to upload data from Python to BigQuery. And also you can extract data from BigQuery and read it in the Python environment, in this case, for example, Jupyter Notebook, in the form of Pandas. So that's the reason I store the data in the form of Pandas data frame before I upload it to BigQuery.
So this is from Amos. He's asking, how do you handle images or non-text like files in your channel? Are these backed up?
Yes. So the great thing about Slack is when you extract the chats, then they are going to give you a link for unstructured data such as images or recordings. So the way it's going to be stored in BigQuery is that it's going to be a link that brings you to the data that stores it.
So another question is, can someone insert data to a SQL table and upload to Google Cloud Storage directly and later be analyzed through BigQuery?
From your question, I assume that you're trying to store data into BigQuery, right? Into Google Cloud Storage first, right? So I never know how to store it in the form of SQL, but I know that you can store the data using CSV or JSON. So you put it in the form of what's called bucket in Google Cloud Storage. And then this bucket can be hooked up to data store or BigQuery according to your needs on how you want to look at the data. So if in this case you choose to view it in BigQuery, then you can just go ahead to BigQuery and upload the data which is in the form of bucket from Google Cloud Storage. And then after that, you can use another Google's product called Google Data Studio in order to analyze the data from BigQuery. So the thing that I like about Google Data Studio is it's very, it's very integrated with everything in Google, obviously because it's Google's product. And you can just create, charts, and then you can just make tables, or you can also, slice and dice it however you want. So yeah, you can. The short answer is you can.
Yeah.
So there's a question by Vina. She's asking how to handle many channels with data science. Could we use the same pandas method? Perhaps Vina is asking if apart from Slack, can we do anything? Can we use the same thing on other channels?
Oh yeah, sure, of course. So in this project, I use my own channels, right? So if you are familiar with Slack, then there is a private channel where you can chat to yourself. So that's the channel that I use to as a work diary. So so using user token, it means that your bot is going to act as you. So it's going to have the privileges that are similar to you. So whatever you can access, then the Slack bot can access if you use user token. Another use of this, hopefully after I distribute it, if there's any contributor that want to develop this, then feel free to message me. Maybe we can do something out of this. You can optimize on the notification part of it. So for example, if you have a data in BigQuery where you want to detect anomaly or any sudden increase in your data, then you can use it. You can hook up the BigQuery in order to give you notification to Slack whenever something like that happens, and you can optimize on the Slack bot for this.